All right, guys, before we bring in Aditi, time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape and ginger and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies and making great memories with friends, it's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or you just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever having to leave the green. And we all know that golf is about good times and good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, and lime flavors of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without ever leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart. And now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up for that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary, excludes the Masters tournament, and it ends October 31st, 2025.
Aditi Kinkhabwala is with us. Aditi, good to see you, as always.
Hi.
In the last 50 years, Aditi, there have only been 3 teams that have had either the best or second best defense and the worst or second worst offense in the league same year. Could the Browns become the 4th this year?
No. No.
Wow.
Come on, we're 3 weeks in. Isn't that massive overreaction?
Of course it is, but you don't think there's any chance that could happen?
I mean, I guess there's a chance for anything, but I feel like there's too much talent on that team. This young Judkins kid, Quinshon Judkins, certainly runs with a lot of energy, a lot of force. There's talent at tight end. There's talent at receiver. I'm sorry, what?
I mean, outside of Jerry Jeudy, they don't have any talent at wide receiver, do they?
You know, I like Cedric Tillman. Sure, I'm still waiting for him to show me a little bit more. I think Jamari Thrash is a fine receiver, maybe not a superstar, but you don't have usually 4 superstars at wide receiver. You need serviceable players beyond a few good options. If you've got a strong run game, I'd like to see more out of the line. I think I expected more from the line, but I will say that I was actually just talking about this in the store yesterday. I'll admit it was indeed the wine store, about the way that the Browns handled that field goal operation at the very end was so smart, so heady, so brilliant. I don't know if people in Cleveland, you guys will have to tell me, are giving enough credit to the way that was managed.
I am.
But that was
Gabriel
pretty
could have done
significant.
it took a veteran, man. They were ready to go. And
Absolutely ready.
Incredible.
I mean, from the way the ball was placed, to the way the ball was snapped, to the way Flacco handled that. I mean, all of it. And then, of course, for the kicker, you have to feel so good for him, especially after week 1.
So let's just clarify, Aditi. We're saying the highlight of Joe Flacco's day was getting the ball snapped.
He also had to complete the pass, too.
Okay, I mean, that, it was like
he
a 7-yard.
He did have to complete the pass. You know what, Adam? Here's what I'll say, and it's funny. It's funny because before I went to the wine store yesterday, I was in Aldi grocery shopping, and I met a gentleman there who obviously wanted to talk about the Steelers and how alarming the Steelers looked, and yet they ended up with a W. And I quoted, it's Julian Edelman, I think, not Danny Amendola, and I'm awful to mix them up. I believe it was Julian Edelman who said he'd much rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss. So in some ways, you did enough to win. You did enough to win against a team that people were talking about potentially going undefeated. Also, overreaction alert right there. Your defense is continuing to build off of itself. Confidence begets confidence. You finally got a takeaway from that defense, which for years I've been screaming you need takeaways to truly be an exceptional defense and an exceptional defensive player. So, sometimes it takes a little while to get things going. I don't know.
Hey, listen, I'm excited about the win. I mean, I brought up that stat because it's also it's a negative for the offense, but it's also a positive for the defense. How good the defense is. It's phenomenal. It looks great.
Well, sure, but I mean, look at Baltimore. You just threw Baltimore there. Baltimore's offense has been absolutely unbelievable, and what's happened to their defense? So a lot of this is, look, we saw an absolutely horrific offensive it was offensive, in fact, but offensive display on Sunday between the Texans and the Jaguars. And I think they have two very physical, strong, stout defenses. The Jaguars especially are great ball hawks, but it's even hard to say it was a good defensive performance because there were 20-plus penalties and the offenses were just so bad. Mm-hmm. But there is a piece of you that says, you know what? Training camps are just not the same. Practices are just not the same. And the first month of football is often very ugly and takes a little bit of time to get going. Now, in the case of the teams that I saw, I think the Jaguars will indeed continue to get better. I really like what Liam Cohen has put in place. You can sort of see pieces there. I'm not so sure that I'd say the same about the Texans. But I think it's fair to have some patience right now with certain players, certain teams, certain offenses. If you ask me about the Giants, I would disagree, but I'm not talking out of both sides.
Jackson Dart just announced the starter, by the way.
Oh!
Yes.
See? And that's why I told you I wouldn't agree. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Get out.
Aditi,
I'm looking down at my phone. Why did my producer, who's the most massive Giants fan and who I've been telling before this week, they just need to go. I mean, who I've been telling since training camp, they just need to go with Jackson Dart.
It just got announced in like the last
I think
10
he's
minutes.
in Temple. I think it's because he's in
That's
Temple,
true.
probably.
It's Rosh Hashanah today.
Lashana Tova for
Thank
all
you.
of our
Thank
friends
you.
who are celebrating Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Aditi,
You're celebrating, Adam, and you're working on the New Year?
I'm working. I'm not very religious. I'm culturally Jewish, and I'm proud of being Jewish, but I'm not religious.
We're working on them.
I'm not going to get a whole thing started on that.
Anyways, let's keep it sports.
Yeah.
Anyways, Aditi, let me ask you, why is it that you look at the picks for the offensive side and the defensive side, right? And I'm talking the whole tenure of AB and Kevin. Why is it, as of lately, the defensive picks is more so hits and the offense is kind of, Why is that? And we have an offensive head coach as well. So why is it that Jim Schwartz can come in and have these people playing immediately? You can see the impact, like Carson Swessinger, Mason Graham. You can see these guys immediately coming in and impact. Even Martin Emerson, when he was playing, he immediately impact. To where the offensive guys, the Jay Wills.
Well, to be fair, Judkins and Fannin have made an impact, haven't they?
David
you're
Bell.
Right. You're right about everybody else.
All right, I was about to say.
You're right about everybody else, but those two guys.
Okay, so are you saying, and I don't actually know this, in some organizations, I know how much say a head coach has on picks and how much input the coaching staff and the head coach specifically has on picks. I don't believe that Kevin has, for example, as much input as Mike Tomlin. So I don't know that it's fair for you to tag Kevin with the recognition of talent, but you certainly raise a good point about the development of players. Of course, the staff was kind of thrown in disarray a year ago, and that may have been a piece of that. I don't know. Scouting is something that I feel strongly about the personality piece of scouting, on how personalities fit together, what the ecosystem of a locker room is, and why those are things that matter. But you're not going to pay me to tell you whether this guy's got a hitch in his throw, basically. So I can't really speak to why they would seem to scout talent better on defense than offense. I mean, I know that the Steelers for years couldn't draft a cornerback. They kept trying and trying and trying and missing and missing and missing, yet they could find wide receiver talent in the late rounds consistently. I don't know if that has to do with the makeup of the staff. If you're asking about development, well, the staff has changed a few times. So that's a fair question. But if you don't have that much talent to start with, then what are you supposed to do?
I just feel like
you're not buying.
No, I mean,
it's okay. You can you cannot buy, but I mean, I wish I had the answers for you, Tyvis.
That's not what I was saying. You say that the staff been shaken up. So as the defensive side, it has not, it's still, the results are just different. And I just don't understand how you can be this offensive-minded guy the players that we're getting, we're just not seeing the development. Like right now, for example, we had this big argument about the offensive line past this season. When you had the Luke Whipplers, the Zach Jones, you've drafted guys,
right?
But yet now we're going to be we're going to be behind the 8 ball next year because you haven't developed those guys. And I feel like that happens on the offensive side to where receivers, quarterbacks, line, we are always behind the 8 ball because these guys haven't developed those guys. So what is going on? But on the defensive side, you taking undrafted safeties, he's your starting guy. You taking guys off the street, bringing them in, and they're making immediate impacts. I just don't understand how is it that on the offensive side we can't figure this out, but defensively it don't matter who they get in there, they can. Let me not say anybody. I'm not going to take it that far. They bring in certain guys and they can see immediate impact. I'm confused. I'm perplexed.
Okay, so Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger were both outstanding picks and are tremendous guys, not only for their talent, but also how smart they are and what they are able to do. So, yes, that's tremendous talent, tremendous hits there. Number 2, there's a reason that Jim Schwartz has such a great tenure resume perception as an outstanding defensive coach. He is.
They said the same thing about Kevin.
He simply is a great coach.
They said the same thing about Kevin, though, Aditi.
He simplifies the complex, sure, but Kevin is also the head coach who has a lot on his plate. He's also the play caller. There's a lot on his plate. He has to be able to trust the guys that are working underneath him to manage their position groups. I think Deuce Staley is a great coach. You have a new O-line coach. Let's see. But I think you're saying something very valid. You need to see players get better. You do want to feel that players are getting better. So again, I'll say the same thing I just said to Adam. Let's not overreact after 3 weeks.
Speaking of overreacting, Baltimore's 1-2. They play the Chiefs this week. They could be 1-3 real quick.
They could also be 2-2. Dustin, are you really that impressed by the Chiefs? Are you watching the Chiefs right now and saying, "Oh that's the
they're not that good.
Dynasty team"?
No, they're not that good. I mean, the Giants could have if they could complete a pass. Anyway,
if they played Jackson Dart.
Yeah, there you go. Well, my question to you is, like, this division's really weird, right? Because Cincinnati's not going to be up there at the end of the year because Browning's not going to be able to carry them the way Burrow would. I mean, even though there's 2-1. You're in Pittsburgh, so you know the Steelers as well as anybody here in this room. And I guess I'm just like, where is this division going to go? Where do you see it go? Put on your or get out your
okay.
crystal
So
ball,
I'm not counting out the Ravens just yet.
I'm not either.
I still think
very they're the best
easily
team.
They could beat the Chiefs. Yeah, sure. They need to fix that defense, but they were also slow starting on defense a year ago as well. Mm-hmm. They need some bodies back. I don't know that that's the best excuse because they had those bodies against the Bills and
they couldn't stop the run last night.
Yes, which was. I mean, I think I read, in fact, that it was one of the 3 highest rushing numbers of John Harbaugh's career, which almost spans 2 decades now as the head coach of the Ravens. So alarming in every way, but there's still a lot of season left. There's still a lot of time to get right. That offense they're world beaters. Find me someone who's really stopped Lamar Jackson just yet. The Steelers' defense certainly hasn't been able to. Aaron Rodgers himself said how awful the Steelers' offense was. I mean, the Patriots kept trying to give them that game, and the Steelers wouldn't seize it. By all rights, I mean, five takeaways, and you win by only 1 touchdown? So I'm not really sold on them either. And the Browns' defense, we've been saying since camp, looks so good. If they can generate more turnovers, they can have even greater impact on this team. And let's get this offense going. Let's give this offense a little bit of time to get going. I'm not giving up on the offense just yet. There's a reason, that they traded away Kenny Pickett. They clearly believe in Joe Flacco. So I would have, I mean, Adam and I had this conversation offline. I would have liked them to have Kenny because I think he would have been a better option should you decide that you want to make a change. Right. Just because of the experience, because of the starting experience, because of all of a variety of factors. But now that's gone. So you're essentially all in on Joe Flacco. So let's give it a little time. Ask me again in 2 weeks, and then maybe I'll say, okay, this offense stinks. But I'm not ready to say that just yet.
Even though you told me off the air that Joe wanted to take you to the early bird special when you met with him because he was tired, we will still be patient with Joe and your advice.
Let me tell you, you started this by over the last 50 years. And I was like, do you think I've been alive for 50 years? And now you're telling me that I get the senior citizen special?
No, I'm saying Joe. I'm saying Joe.
Not doing me any favors
I was saying
now.
Joe is old, not you. I'm
older than Joe. I'm older than Joe.
Well, but I wasn't talking about your age. I was talking about you look a lot younger than Joe.
I will save my question till 2 weeks from now. I delegated all my time to
Sorry,
G.
It's okay. It's okay. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you, Aditi. We'll see you.
Thanks,
guys. Thanks for having me. We'll talk soon.